Chedan Toki Chonamna Chanchu Padu Dadni Kyapsuchi Daki Chenyen Gibe Sanam Ki Dola Penchir Sangye Dubasho Chedan Toki Chonamna Chanchu Padu Dadni Kyapsuchi Daki Chenyen Gibe Sanam Ki Dola Penchir Sangye Dupasho Chedan Toki Chonamna Chanchu Padu Dadni Kyapsuchi Daki Chenyen Gibe Sanam Ki Dola Penchir Sangye Dupasho Shmogity Dogity. I'd like to welcome Carol Foley, who's Commander Foley's wife, and she's important to you because she's in charge of their foundation. So be nice to her, okay? You don't have to be nice to John. He's okay. All right. Okay. And they have supported many, many of our projects, and I'd like to thank them as always. And we have here today the Mexico team. We flew them up, Aisha. And can you introduce your team? But, yeah, they used to work for the chairman of Hewlett Packard in Mexico.
Me? About 11 years.
Yeah. And they're helping to run.
Financial solutions.
Yeah. And you worked for. Oh, she worked for the U.S. government. Yeah. How many people total on your team in Mexico? I don't know, 10?
No, we're like almost 20.
Okay, and so they have succeeded in getting a law passed in the Mexican Congress that allows them to help 23 million school children in 130,000 schools to improve their diet because they had the highest obesity rate of children in the world in Mexico. So we call it green drink, just try to get them to do a green drink. And then we'd like them to do more exercise, which it's yoga, but we're going to call it stretch because yoga has connotations in Mexico that might be threatening to some people. And then green stretch pen. And then they're going to learn about the golden rule and how you can get success by helping other people get success. So they have permission from the Mexican government to bring, say, 100 teachers from all states of Mexico up to Guadalajara once or twice a year, train them in green stretch pen. We call green stretch pen, and then go back to their schools and implement it, and then get bonuses in their salary if they can implement it in their school. And we think we have a Chinese sponsor who has, I believe it's 800 outlets for, she does, Mrs. Young, she does high-end fashion, modern versions of ancient Tang Dynasty clothing. And it's very cool, very hot. And I went to her place, Stanley and me and Allison, to try to convince her to fund something else. I think it was John Brady. But then in her office, penthouse, she has a whole building. And in the penthouse, it's all Tang Dynasty, ancient wooden temples, calligraphy rooms, libraries, tea rooms, restaurant, and 3 big yoga rooms. Wow. So then I said, well, what's the yoga rooms for? And she says, that's my private yoga club. And so I have like 100 wealthy women who have a card, and they're allowed to come here and do yoga with me with these 5 expert yoga teachers. So then immediately I switched my mind. I said, oh, she's going to do the Mexico program. And so me and John sold it to her hard. We spent like 2 hours on her. And she did not agree. but she said she's open to talking about it. So we said, well, come to America, and we'll introduce you to everybody, and you'll get to know everybody. So she agreed to come in September. So she'll be here in the term. You guys have to come back during the term, and we have to squeeze her. But we need pre-squeeze money, which is what we're going to. So Michael Moore gave some, I gave some, and I'll hit you up for some. It's like a pilot project, you know, just to keep people going until we can squeeze the big one. And the thing about China is nouveau riche. People are newly wealthy. So when people are wealthy more than one generation, they buy too many houses, they buy boats, they buy apartments in Hawaii, and they overcommit their money. But these people are new. They're, especially South China, Shenzhen, they're all newly wealthy because capitalism was just starting. So they all have much more money than they're used to. So we're very lucky that, especially due to Stanley and Allison's efforts, we have a good fundraising thing going in Asia. So I think that's how we're going to fund the Mexico thing. But we still need funds to keep these people going until we get the big funding. So that's what I'm going to hit you guys up for. That's all. Okay? And they just fundraised almost $800,000 for this storage facility, which will pay the expenses of this building. And so they're very good at squeezing. So they had a good squeezing teacher. And they have a lot of, and Vivian's done amazing fundraising also. And Jenny Wong. We have the big guns here. So, yeah. So Vivian's from Guangzhou, China, which is the largest city in the world, 30 million people. And Jenny's from Singapore, which is probably the wealthiest city in the world. And they're great fundraisers. So there's not a coincidence that I have them here with you. So we're going to have a meeting on Sunday. I think you guys are welcome to come. And we're going to feed you very nicely, and then we're going to squeeze you. Feed and squeeze. We should squeeze and feed, right? But Sunday morning we'll just have a nice breakfast at my house, and we'll just relax. And I'm thinking maybe we could put a price on each kid. Seriously, like maybe just set a number. You know, we need $98 per kid, and then how many kids you want, and maybe that's an easy way to just go to sponsors. No, just go to a sponsor and say how many kids you want, you know. And we have to put a price on what it takes to train them in these three things. And I'm not thinking 12 levels and 700-page manuals, and I'm just thinking quick and dirty, you know. Like, how much does it take to get a kid to drink a green drink every day for a year, and to do stretching for it every day for a year, and learn the basics of the pen? And not fancy, not like 20 years of study or something like that. Just like, what's it take to get one kid to have a green drink once a day for a year so it becomes a habit, and then to do stretching every day for a year, and to study the pen. You know, just keep it small and simple and put a price on it, and go to many countries and say, how many kids you want? You want 3 kids? You want 30 kids? And make it simple, very simple. Yeah. So, okay, here we go. Abhidharma.
Yeah, which comes the most exciting subject.
Yeah, he claims his book is the most exciting one. Nobody agrees.
Just trying to motivate myself. That's right. To make it more exciting, I'm going to ask Allison to read the question to you.
Wow. That's exciting.
Okay. First one, what are the 2 kinds of sense power in terms of their different functioning states?
Yeah, and by the way, he's scheduled to go on his book until 2046. I will be 94. And no, his book is scheduled to end in 2046. So it's a huge undertaking, but his book is the foundation of all Buddhism. And we're in the foundation chapter of the foundation book. So we're doing very, very basic foundational stuff that's necessary for all Buddhism. Yeah. So here we go.
So the potential. Yeah, in Chinese. English.
In Chinese, Chinese.
In operation and on standby.
Yeah.
Good. Nice.
So
Can you say more about it to our guests? Like, what's it mean?
Understand by sense power means like, for example, when you are sleeping, your eye sense power is not in operation, but it's still there. It's like standby.
Yeah.
And then in reliance relationship means when you are seeing something, so your eyeball is in operation.
Good. Yeah. So that's an Abhidharma thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably you can only make karma when it's in operation. I mean, it has other implications. Yeah. Okay.
Me too.
What, by the way, which text did we just discuss? How this, the window, the object, and the looker. Whose text were we working on? Yeah, Su Gang's and words. So all day today we've had this theme of looking through the windows at outside objects and how does that work and how does karma created from that and stuff like that.
Couldn't make it account for breaking the Adam's text.
What's cool is the 10 texts were chosen because they're different schools, because the different schools have vastly different vocabularies. You can understand Vinaya and not understand Madhyamika. So we chose 10 different, intelligent people who are fairly young, because these are long-term projects. And then now we're starting to get, what do you call incest. No, the different books are starting to overlap. Yeah, the different books are starting to overlap. Okay. And it's exciting. It's exciting because in one day we'll get 3 different takes on a certain idea.
Stop piling them up together all the time.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
What are the debate highlights on if the sense power is visible or not?
Highlight is kind of boring, but
The most interesting of the boring.
yeah.
No, this is pretty cool.
Remember?
Yeah.
Can you see those windows?
You could if you had really good vision, like if you were omniscient or had some
Yeah, there are two
superpowers.
kachis. There are two kachis.
Yeah.
Can the sense
Okay.
power see itself?
One kachi says it's visible because
It's
Somebody can see.
it's about the shapes.
right. It's visible because it does have a shape.
Oh, yeah.
But it's invisible because another eye looking at the eye wouldn't be able to see that thing in the eye.
So there is scriptural support for the idea that the cells inside your eye are in a certain array. They are in a certain configuration. And we had 5 examples. The first one was similar to a sesame flower, which is shaped like a trumpet.
Yeah.
So supposedly the cones and rods at the back of the eyeball, the cells that detect colors and shapes, were discussed by somebody. And how they are laid out was discussed. And so Buddha said, you have rods and cones at the back of your physical eye, and those are the window through which you see. And those are shaped in the shape of a sesame flower. Second one, the ear cells are similar to, he had to take examples from nature because that's all they had at the time. So they are shaped, the cochlea of the ear is shaped like a silver birch bark. And then there was, the nose has... The nose has
Chinese.
like machine gun barrels. Many barrels come down in the nose. The tongue, half moon. The sensitive cells are half moon shaped, and the body,
Just covers the
no big shape.
Yeah.
So the question is, if someone described the shape of these cells,
Yeah.
configuration for each of the senses, are they visible?
Somebody saw him.
Well,
They
it's,
say
it's one of the 2 types of visible soup.
Yeah.
It's shape.
And what do we think?
If it,
We say to whom?
We say
But what's the important word? What's the important word? Tangwa, which means
clear.
crystalline, clear, like you not visible to the normal naked eye. Okay.
Our powerful response is
Powerful.
So what's our conclusion by the end? Why is it invisible?
Because normal people couldn't see it.
We use the 2 brothers.
Not sure.
Oh,
The 2 who?
2 brothers.
Master Sangha and Master Vasudha.
Oh, good, yeah.
Because they say it's invisible.
Two great scriptural sources have agreed that it's not visible, so we have to agree.
Yeah, that's exciting highlights.
Yeah, that's terrible. And then it doesn't have shade.
The third question, what are the two basic divisions of visible form and the
Whoa.
with examples?
Explain mushimusum. But I've never seen it spelled like that, and it's very sexy. Musmus. Hey, musmus. What's it mean?
It's the four possible.
Good.
Four possible relations.
Combinations.
Combination between two existing.
Take an example.
Well, here.
Let's say yellow and round.
Yeah.
You know, so can somebody be yellow and not round? Could somebody be round and not yellow? Could somebody be both round and yellow? Could be something be not round and yellow. And this is a classic Buddhist method of examining an object.
Adam's.
So what are the two things you're choosing?
So yeah. So what's the two basic divisions of form here?
Color and
Yeah.
shape.
Good, nice, okay.
Okay. So what's the mushimusum?
What's the mushimusum? Can something be color and not form?
Purple.
Whoa, color and not shape?
Color and not shape, sorry.
Yeah, purple.
Yes. Well, yes.
Just purple.
Yeah, that's purple.
The
And
color
then
purple.
Is there such a thing as just purple without a shape?
Yeah.
Yes,
the
it's a
color
color.
purple.
That which
Right.
you can point to.
Like that
Things can't have color.
Any
Color
purple you
is-
point to has a shape.
A color is a shape.
your mind is imbued by purple.
That's okay.
That means you've been listening.
Purple haze.
Yeah.
Okay.
Both color and shape.
Yes.
Yeah.
Eggplant.
Like what?
Purple.
Like almost eggplant.
Eggplant is a color.
Yeah, it's purple.
Eggplant is a color.
Yes.
Oh.
It has
Remember,
shade,
we
it
are
has-
talking
it
about
sometimes
the
given
most
as a color.
basic
It
form
has-
of object.
Eggplant is actually a color too.
Yeah.
Cloud.
Is it a shape?
No, but here the context.
Eggplant shape.
Just for the Foley's, what's the definition of color in Buddhism?
That can be pointed to as color.
Yeah, you can't define it. All you can do is say that's pink. Pink is what that is. Okay, yeah. It's an interesting definition.
Color cloud and color
Four
flash.
shapes. Yeah, those things. The most
Secondary colors.
primary,
and
basic
secondary.
form, like cloud. Oh, one is frog.
Frogs.
Fog.
Oh, I was like frog.
Frog.
Fog.
Hey. No, we're gonna get there.
Totally.
Lots of colors and shapes.
Okay.
A lot of different colors.
Cloud. That's what it is.
Okay. Okay.
Without color, no color and no shape, which is form, like things you can
Oh,
hear.
you said with, not is, huh?
Oh,
No, it's all right.
That's okay.
Is it?
That's fine.
Is that how machinism works?
That's all right. You can do it this way.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, good. I like your musmus. That's gonna become famous. These are transmittable Tibetan words. We call them STWs.
Intractable.
We're hoping they'll be contracted. I'm
Highly
not-
contagious.
This joke lasts a really long time.
The first one, sit down.
The aspect of form. What do you want?
Miss Nothing.
Oh.
That's okay. Visible.
Ja, Nis, Nam, Ba.
Soundable things.
Hearable things. Yeah,
We wouldn't have the need
Drink
there
now.
necessarily.
it's okay.
What's the knob doing for us here?
Smell.
We're gonna take it as a number, but
Has that aspect.
it's okay.
Smelly.
Yeah. Raw,
Flavorable things.
tasteable things.
And so-
Sudrati raw. It should be rekja, the last one.
Oh, Rick.
Rekja.
Direction.
G,
Yeah, there, rekja.
D, Y.
Oh, this one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, the last one, the fifth one.
No, it's just fixing.
Okay, good. Which is
Touchable.
touchable things. And again, Stanley's text is significant because we have the whole Sanskrit, which is very rare. About 2% or 3% of the Sanskrit survives. And we have a great team in many countries. We have one team in Kathmandu, Nepal, checking old scripts, older than Sanskrit. We have a team in South India, Karnataka, checking. They've already done 5 million pages of Sanskrit scans.
Kerala?
Kerala, sorry. We have a team in Varanasi inputting traditional Sanskrit books, which mostly come from West Bengal, which is in the jungle slightly east of there. And then we have a team in Guadalajara sitting at their computer and checking the libraries of the world for Sanskrit manuscripts, and that's Aisha, and she's done a great job. So many of the Sanskrit texts we've recovered have come through her. She's actually done better than those other groups because it's easier to sit in Guadalajara with your kid next to you and find books in Norway, which is what she does. And so we're lucky that due to their work, and we're hoping Christine Kasika will find Sanskrit books among the 300,000 books they have located in Mongolia and just got $1 million grant to catalog them. So thanks for that. Okay. So, as we go through these, since we have a Sanskrit, it's nice to just look at it and get familiar with it. Sanskrit grammar is almost as bad as Russian and English. But the basic word is pretty easy to learn. So if you don't have to learn the endings and everything. So here we go. We're going to talk about the 20 divisions of physical form, okay, or visible form. Okay, and again, we're on the first chapter. We're in the first part of the first chapter after 2.5 years. And, we got a long, long way to go. But if you're going to write a book called Everything in the Universe, you'd probably want to start with colors and shapes. So that's where we are. And, he's got 27 years to go. And, and that's if we can finish on time. Which we don't have a very good record on. Okay, go ahead. Oh, so Dambotupte means we can divide visible objects into 20 because there's 12 colors and there's 8 shapes. Okay, so here, and again we're starting with at the beginning of the universe, and then later we're going to get into exotic kinds of meditation and stuff. But you start with colors. Yeah. Translate. So it is true that there are how many colors? 8? Yeah, 12 colors, because there's four primary colors and 8 secondary colors. Okay. And his text is artificially in debate format. I can prove to you that there's 4 primary colors because then he gives them. Please read. Utpala's got the plane, right? We call it, ever since John gave the lecture here, we say you have the plane, meaning she's checking his pronunciation. Okay. No, sir. Car. First. Car. Mar. Yeah, by the way, when a nasal has a prefix letter, it has to go high tone. Otherwise, it means butter. Okay, mar. Yeah, when an M has a prefix letter, it goes high tone. Mar. She had mar yesterday. What was it?
Things not to give.
Yesterday, she finished the full nun's vows for the first time in 1,000 years. No one has successfully written out the 364 nun's vows for 1,000 years. They've been lost for 1,000 years, and she finished yesterday. Yeah, and but what was the mar? And we had 11 vows at the end. It started with milk.
Milk, their butter, their yogurt, their meat.
Yeah. You can't intercept and their beef
You can't purposely go to a house where they have extra cows
and be like,
and try to ask for milk. Okay.
Or
Rang
yogurt.
dundu for $20.
What's the word?
Rang dundu. We make bets to keep people awake. Rang, who's it? Yeah, $20 to her. Yeah, meaning you're allowed to do it if it's for the
Sangha.
if it's for the whole nun community. You're allowed to go and ask for butter, but you're not allowed to go and ask for it for yourself. Okay. Okay.
For red.
Yeah. So here you got to say high tone, or you're gonna hit butter. Okay. So what are the 4 primary colors?
Green.
Blue.
Ngo.
White.
Now, ngo is an interesting word because
Could be blue or green.
you know how Eskimos see 17 kinds of white, 17 colors of snow. But in Buddhism, they have a hard time distinguishing between blue and green. So it's almost a mixed color. So you can say blue, but sometimes it means green. In fact, in your text, we had ngun because we're not supposed to do something on the ngun.
Poop, pee, or spit on plants that haven't died.
Yeah, one of your last nun's vows was environmental. You have to respect the environment. Yeah, that was one of the last nun vows. So
Jangu is always green or Jangu?
Jangu's always green, but ngo is not always blue.
Right.
Okay, and there's other words for blue called ting,
Yeah, like Tingin.
like cobalt blue. So that's a specific color. Tinga. Yeah. So anyway, blue green. I would say blue. Okay. Well, let's see what his example is. Let's see what his example
Can we
is.
say yellow for Sarah then?
Yeah, it has to be yellow. It's not
Gold.
gold, which has a
G.
prefix letter G.
Oh, yeah, right.
Okay. By the way, I learned these colors because Rinpoche said, let's do the cover of the Tsongkhapa book, the Principal Teachings of Buddhism. He said, I want ser.
Oh,
So I went and got banana yellow. And he got furious. He said, that's not ser. I said, but that's yellow. He said, I don't care what's yellow. That's not ser. You know, and it's gold. They want this color. They want the color of those, or this color is. Okay, anyway, ser, kar,
White.
white, mar.
Red.
These are 4. Now let's give them names after if he gives us examples. But I don't think he does. Okay. Secondary colors. Let's go. Nipa,
Nipa Jute.
Trin.
Chin.
Jin. You have the plain upala.
Jing.
Oh, sorry.
Jing. Dan. Du.
Tongue. There's no D.
This is not a D.
Tu.
Tu.
Dan. Tu.
Tu. If you pronounce it correctly and you hit your voice box, it should shake. Tu. Not dua. Tu. Tua. Okay. No. Here's a real D.
Du.
Dul.
Dul. Hang. Ku. Ku.
Yeah.
Kukna.
Na. Tang. Rik. Ma.
Chima.
Trick. Ma. Tang. Nio.
Nia.
Near Tang Nan Wa Nam Wa Tang Mun Pa Nan Su Yu Bej.
Yeah, so this sentence has frustrated countless students of Buddhism. And I think there's something deep here, but I'm not sure what it is. Okay. So, no, I mean, I believe someday people will say, oh my God, that was so brilliant. But you know, it's easy to put it down, but I have a feeling there's something deep here. But I'm not sure. I didn't have time to figure it out. So anyway, secondary colors. The first one is cloud.
Cloudy.
Cloud, like the color of a cloud in the sky. And then a different color is tua, smoke. So somehow these two are different.
Do you ever get mixtures of colors like
A smoky cloud.
no, like a smoke yellow?
No, they don't talk
lighter
about
yellow.
it. They don't talk about it. Yeah.
Take that word.
Qualities like
Yeah.
you have like smoky blue or cloud.
Yeah, he just asked that. Nah, not that I'm aware of. Dul.
Adam?
Dul means dust, like dust storm dust. Okay. It can also mean
Oh, yeah.
largest. It can also mean menstruation. So be careful. It can also mean an atom. So be careful. Du chengi bum.
atomic
Oh.
bomb.
Is atomic
atom bomb.
bomb. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little dual boom is a bomb.
Sure.
That's a loan word, obviously. Okay. Kugna is fog. Okay. And apparently these are different. What you're getting into here, let's say you're an illustrator and you're restricted to black and white. You have charcoal and a white paper. Then somehow can these be called shadings? I don't know. Shadings. And then maybe you connect them with the color. Maybe that's what it's about. I don't know. But I have a feeling it's deeper than we think. So, and don't take them for fools, you know. These always have deeper meaning. Okay. Chima,
Obstacle.
this means shadow. Shadow. And then nya,
Sunlight.
sunlight. And then
Daylight.
this nawa means
Bright.
illuminated, illumined,
Effulgent.
effulgent, illumined. And then the opposite of that is
Dark.
Dark.
dark. And I would say if you took this list to a very good illustrator of charcoal or pens, they would say, yeah, that's pretty sensitive differences. They do exist. Okay. Namsu Yubichu. These are the how many? 8 secondary colors, but they're really kind of like shadings. Okay. Okay. Yeah, they might be. What do you call it in Word when you click on? You click here.
Bold.
Where is that
Drop shadow.
layout? Where is that
Design. Maybe.
design? Yeah. Anyway, you get shadings, right? Okay. Anyway. Okay. Let's go. You got the plane with Bala.
Tat. Nipa. Jute.
It's not a D.
Jute.
Troop. Troop. Okay. Yeah.
Ringpo. Tungu.
I think it's Tungu, yeah.
Nampa.
Sampa.
Nampa.
Yeah, switch the H and the L. And the British didn't. And they misspelled the capital of Tibet. Okay, it's like Sri Lanka. Okay. Dumbo.
Dumbo. Topa.
By the way, ZL is prenasal. Ndumbo. Okay,
Toa.
good.
Lawa.
Yeah, now read these three together. And say it fast.
Pilewa.
Chalewa. Chalewa. Okay, so it goes together. You don't say Chaleba or something like that. It's Chalewa.
Chalewa.
And then you got Chalewa Mayimba.
Chalewa Mayimba.
Yeah, not Chalewa.
Nansu Yopeche.
Yeah, now Zata means the second original point I made, which was about form in the form of shape as opposed to form in the form of color. Okay, matter in the visible form in the form of shape rather than visible form in the form of color. Okay, so here are the classic shapes. Tsata nipa dupte, ringbo, long, tungu, short, sampa. I think it's squarish. How do you say rectangular? It doesn't have to be a square. It can be a rectangle. Yeah, angular. Okay. Then dumbo is curved, angular and curved. Yeah. Then you've got toa and moa.
High and low.
Yeah, high and low. High and low. Height and depth. I don't know. Okay, high and low. Yeah. Chalewa. Chalewa means two-dimensional, flat. And Chalewa Mayimba means contoured. Contoured? Yeah. Okay. So these are also subtle. They're not stupid. They're not like some primitive thing. So you have to translate them sensitively. Contoured and not contoured. Okay. Having height and not having height. Having the dimension this dimension and not having this dimension. So something.
Z and no Z.
Yeah, no Z. How many we got? Long,
8.
short, angular, rounded, high, low, flat, not flat, contoured, not contoured. 8. Okay. Now he's going to give us example of some of these that were not too clear, which is thank you. Okay, which is thank you. And this is particular to Choni Lama. This is his style. And this is why, how many of our books are Choni Lama? We're doing like 5 or 6 because he's so kind of Western in his thinking. Go ahead. Please read. Who's got the plane? Sugang? Complain about him. Complain about him.
Nanway kept your day.
No way. No way. High tone. Any nasal, which is nga, nya, na, ma, those 4, gets higher with the prefix letter. Okay? No way.
Nanway kept your day.
Good.
Nawa.
Whoa, whoa.
Nawa.
Dawa. Prenasal. Zia.
Nawa. Tang. Ha?
Karma. Karma.
Karma. Tang me. Me. Mir. Tabu. La. Chebeshe.
Yeah, I think this is misspelled. Okay. So
Right.
we had in the shadings, we had illumined, luminous. Okay, and he's going to give you examples. I'll tell you some examples of illumined. Okay, for example,
The moon.
the moon. Then that was misspelled. It should be skarma.
Stars.
Karma in Tibetan doesn't mean
Karma.
Leg.
karma in Sanskrit. Okay, karma in Tibetan means stars. Okay, and maya,
Firelight.
yeah, firelight. Okay, double. Those are what I mean when I say the shade of illumined.
Like self-awareness.
Yeah, yeah, luminous.
Luminous is
Yeah, okay, something like that. Now he's gonna get to angular shapes. Okay, Sambayete, please read. By the way, what's for $100? What's the other meaning of flamba without checking a dictionary word?
What? As if. Wampa? Higher? Like more than? Like
Man, my money is safe today. Shoes.
shoes. Oh, hamgo.
Yeah, samko. Because they used to have square tips. In the old days, you couldn't make a rounded shoe. You just folded a piece of leather and. Okay, so they're called squares.
Squares.
Yeah, like clogs in what's your country?
Netherlands.
Holland clogs. Oh, okay. But just recently. Okay. Oh, okay.
The Japanese wears pretty square sandals.
Okay, so samba angular. I'll give you an example.
4 grains?
Come on. Chushi means rectangular.
Okay.
So an example of angular is rectangular. Okay. Okay. Angular shapes, I mean rectangular shapes, meaning right angles. You know, yeah. Having 4 sides. Yeah. Yeah.
So triangles are
I don't bug me. I don't know. Okay. Rounded shapes. Okay. I'll give you an example of rounded shape. Riril.
Some kind of.
Riril means circular.
Oh, pills are really
Yeah, pills are called rilbu, which is little round things.
little roundies.
Okay. So I would say circular. Or you see, he's trying to give a more specific example of a generally rounded shape. Circle is one kind of rounded shape. An egg is a different kind of rounded shape. Okay, cool. He's just giving you one example of a rounded shape, which is circular. Okay. I hate this next 2 words, which are worth $50.
Which one?
The
Other easy.
Yeah, I'm not even going to pronounce it because I want to make it hard. Or $50, $0. Oh, the other ones are easy.
Oh,
La.
And I hate it when an author does that. It means, hey, you can figure those out. You don't need me. I'm like, but we do need you. And he's like, nah, I'm going on. Okay, so Shen La is a very frustrating expression in scripture. It means, hey, anyone can figure out the other ones. You know, I just wanted to, I wish he would have done fog, for example. And he didn't. He just said, anyone can figure the rest out. Okay. But it says, there is one more hard one, which is
Chile.
chalewa,
Chalewa.
which is a totally weird word. It's not, it even sounds weird, right? Most Tibetan words are 2 syllables. This is chalewa. Okay, he says the other ones are easy, but you know what? Chalewa is not so easy. So let me cover that one for you guys. Whether something is chalewa or not, here's what the difference is, okay? You want to know what's the difference between something that's chalewa or not chalewa, because when he listed it, he said chalewa and chalewa not. Not chalewa, chalewa and unchalewa. So he said, hey, you want to know the difference between chalewa and unchalewa? Here's the difference. Nyam mi nyam. This is the nyam and nyam shot.
Or either even or not.
Equanimity.
Yeah, even or not. Nyam shot means samapati.
Yeah.
It's an ancient word for meditation. What's that equal mean?
In between Chingwa and
Yeah, in between agitation and distraction. So agitation and dullness, right?
yeah.
So this nyamba means equal level. It means level. Level or not, okay? Which is to say, leb or not. So,
Flat.
yeah, leb is the modern word for flat. Maybe it comes from this lewa.
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, so leb means kogo is a shibji leb. That's why he can do what do you call that? Unsupported headstand.
Because his head is flat.
How do you call it?
Near long.
Shirshasana. Near Alambana Shirshasana. Because his head is leb. The top of the head is leb. Dharma Mitra keeps saying, yeah, that's the only reason I can do it. Because I was born with a flat head. He doesn't use his arms. Okay, so yeah. So that's called leb in Tibetan. And it's common to hear one monk accuse another monk of having a leb head. Okay. You flat head. What do you call a marine haircut? Okay, here we go. Don't say it to a marine. Okay, here we go. Look, there's the MSMS. Okay. Yep. Wait, who's got the plane? Adam? You got the plane? Come on, yell at him. If you're compassionate, you'll make a mistake on purpose. I just covered him.
Try really hard.
Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. I'm going to cut it there just because it's too painful to hear you keep going. No, I'm just kidding. Don't worry, we're getting a break tomorrow. I'm sure you're going to rest. Okay. Kadata yip. Whether or not something, there's 4 combinations between color and shape. Okay. And that's something I think you even proposed, Stanley. So, Ngoser Karmar. But we have to say he gave a brilliant lecture about his text at Diamond Mountain, which is kind of my dream for you guys. And he gave a really, really good lecture about his text. And it's the last time I'm going to praise you about it. Okay. Blue, yellow, white, red, she, the 4, and shadowed and sunlit and dark are Sukhi Keche. They are the object of the eye. And they're also colors, but
They're not.
they don't have shape. Yeah, they are not shapes. They don't exist as shape. Okay. Now that's the first move, right? It is color, but it's not shape.
Okay.
Is there something which is shape, but it's not color? Here we go. No, please read the Tibetan, and Haso's gonna correct you.
Rimpo Tam Tum Mu
Yeah.
Klampa Tam
Mm,
Nu Hey
Dumba.
Dun Pa Tam Ta Ma Tam
Yeah. Chale Yinmin.
Chale Yin Min Nam Ni Yi
Yep.
Yo Chin Ka Tok Tu Me
Yeah, things which exist as shape but don't exist as color are, and he just repeats the list of shapes, okay? Long. There's the correct spelling of short, so we confirms our correction. Short, angular, rounded, high, low, flat or not flat, okay? Contoured or not contoured, okay? Namsu. These exist as yip, shape, but they don't exist as color. Second mu, second possibility, second permutation of the two.
1 minute.
Now we're expecting to get something which is
Oh.
both, which is nikar. Okay, so here we go. Go.
Min Tang Tu
Tua.
Tua Tang Ku Na Nam Ni Yi Tang Ka Tok Ni Ka Yo Pa Tang
Rangja.
Karam Jun Jiao So Le Shape Shepe
Yeah, now he's crediting it to Vasubandhu's auto commentary, which means he's like, I don't know about it, but he said. Okay, so it's kind of saying, if you know Tibetan well, he's kind of saying, you know, I mean, Vasubandhu says, okay, that cloud and smoke and fog are both
Wow.
colors and shapes. You can't have fog, smoke, and cloud without some shape. Although they were listed in the colors, in the shades. Can I elucidate?
Yeah.
Vasubandhu said so. Okay.
Keeping with the
Last one, yeah. Who am I? Let's read the last one, okay? Because we got 4 moves, right? Last combination. Oh, I'm sorry. No, he doesn't give you the last one. I guess it's,
everything else.
he doesn't give you the neither. Because it's so obvious.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Okay.
Shenla.
Yeah, Shen La. Number 4 is easy. Something that's neither color nor shape. Jealousy. Jealousy.
And what about the sense powers? They are invisible.
Shenla.
That could be too. Okay, so he didn't give the 4th move because it's so easy. The things which are neither color nor shape, which do exist, are, you know. I don't know if he's saying Shirshak form. I don't know.
There's such a thing.
No.
If it's
There's no form which is, there's no visible form which is neither color than or shape.
There's no.
Maybe sound.
Something wouldn't be visible.
Oh, you're right. Say it to everybody.
The halo
Good.
you got from your vow.
Yeah, so there's a special kind of form in the Abhidharma school that after you take a vow, you get some halo around you that cannot be seen. So it would not have color or shape. So I think that's a great example. Yay, Stanley. Okay. Yeah, even Vasubandhu missed that one.
Buddha see it? What color is it to a Buddha?
11 vision.
Aw.
Okay.
Sashi
Puki Joshi Eto Cham Rira Bingshi Ninde Gambadi Sangye Shindu Mite Uwagi Roku Nanda Shinga Chupasho Idam Guru Rata Mandala Kamya Tayami Di Kewo Kun Sunam Yeshe Zozo Shin, Sunam Yeshe Le Chung Wei, Damba Kunyi Toba Sho. By the way, practical applications. We're going to hit atoms soon. And